Miss, can I have a pen?
Some people were made...
Shush. You said you were going to be good now.
Yeah, I want to go pointy.
Do you want to... Sean, do you want...
Miss, can I go and get my pen out, my project folder?
You have plenty of time to eat. You don't have to eat it in class.
No, not breakfast.
Perhaps if you want to eat in class, we should give up breaks completely and just carry on working all morning.
What was you going to say?
Would you rather do that if you want to eat in class?
What was you going to say?
Yeah. I was going to say, very good at changing the subject, Sean.
Centres like this have got various names in different parts of the country. They're called withdrawal units, nurture units and things like that. In this city, in Birmingham, we call them educational guidance centres, and the aim is to take kids referred by school, to send them back to school eventually, having given them time to grow up while in the company of 3 or 4 adults, 2 or 3 of whom are teachers.
Newlands isn't like a Borstal. It's not for people in trouble with the courts, although obviously 1 or 2 of the kids here have a slight delinquency problem. It's not a clinic. We're not fully involved with psychological services, although they are represented on our referral board. And it's certainly not just a sin bin, whatever that may mean in different parts of the country.
Do you mean...
Kids come here for a wide variety of reasons. They may at one extreme be the truant who can't even face school, and we help them possibly to get a little bit more confident so that they can at least get in there and face it. There are the troubled and the troublesome kids who've had one sort of a problem or another with their teachers. This may, for example, be a violent temper reaction to people in authority in their schools. And they usually grow out of that sort of thing while they're here.
Next question is...
And at the other extreme, you do have 1 or 2 people that, there's no doubt, are quite disturbed and are on the verges of being maladjusted, but we would hope to keep them within the mainstream system, hoping to integrate them back into the mainstream system and help the schools to cope with them.
Maria, come and sit down. Sit down.
You do it. Sorry, Jimmy. Nothing. I'll do it.
You've flung off again in one of your tempers before you've thought, haven't you? Remember what we've been saying to you all term. Just think that little bit more before you go off into one of these tempers. You could have used the back of that paper. There isn't a mark on it.
Good morning, Newlands. Good morning.
I think we all take on different roles at the centre, and the secretary takes the mother figure role.
Yeah.
And of course this is vital since many kids come from broken homes.
Thought he'd do well. I told him to look after him.
Is Nipper working in class? Yeah. Don't work.
Pardon?
No, you won't. You'll do the same as us. No, Miss,
I can't hear him.
He said he'll do something else.
No, you won't.
You do the same as us. You're in the same class. Good. It's not what you like, it's what you're going to get.
All right, Sylvia, I think we've heard quite sufficient of your voice now. When you say city?
Liverpool.
Liverpool begins with L-I. Which river is...
Mersey.
It's on the River Mersey, isn't it? We say on the River Mersey. What we mean is on the side of the River Mersey. We don't actually mean in the middle of the river, do we? So you fill that in. The city of Liverpool is on the River Mersey.
When Basharat was going to his new school, he was behaving very well. But there were 3 things which they were upset about. He didn't have a pen and a pencil. He sometimes wore jeans, and he was often late. If you and we can help him, then he might succeed in that. I have talked with the headmaster. He is willing to give Basharat a new chance. Which would you rather do? Stay at home or be in school?
Be in school.
Be in school.
The 2 other teachers and myself have all taught within the state system, and although the demands we meet here are very different, we're still very much concerned with formal classroom work.
By the time I get round to that, I want to see you either having done the next question, or because I'm going to talk to Lee for a moment, see how he's getting on, doing the next question.
We have a very structured academic morning in which the kids are expected to work very hard, and they're controlled and told what to do.
Right, Lee, how are you getting on? Finished. You've finished then, right. Well, can we have your name and the date at the top there, please? Professor Holmes says that most natural metals, all right, and you've done question 1, so let's look lower down.
So what do I put now then? Oh, just what you told me. You just explained it to me.
Ashamed of causing trouble, right? And that's what you put for the answer, is it?
Williams and Cotton was where to start digging.
Right, you've worked quite well on that, Roy, but one of the things that you have done is that you've copied pieces from the book. Now, that's a bit of a waste of time, isn't it, from your own point of view, just to copy pieces out. So what I'd like you to try and do is to read and understand what you're reading and then write it in your own words. OK. You just carry on with that for a few moments. It's nearly the end of the lesson now. Some more drawing paper.
This is the important bit now, the contract. Now, you've been worried about him going back to school. So, as I said, we'll write that down now. That Newlands will send him back to school, starting with 1 day per week. Right, let's ask you, John, what are you going to do in all this?
Try and be good.
Okay, let's write it down, shall we? Try to be good.
I think he'll be good because, you know, it's the boys that he goes round with. That's what I put it down to. Because, I mean, he's ever so good at home.
Yeah, but what does be good mean? This is the big question. It means different things to different people and different things with different schools. So you've got to look at what it was in the past that you've got to change or at least control. All right, so we're rewarding you in the same way that school rewards you for being good, as you put it. We're going to look at you and say, if you have got the right number of points on your behaviour this week, you can do swimming on Wednesday and Friday. You could do cookery Tuesday and Friday. You could do skating, bowling, etc. on Friday afternoon. But to do those things, you've got to earn the points in the rest of the week and from school.
Yeah, but is that all you have to do all day?
What, here?
Just bowling and that?
No, that's... I'll go to the... Let me show you. In the morning, maths and English, maths and English, maths and English, maths and English. That's before break. So don't you worry about the work, old son, if you're worried about just bowling and skating all day.
Well, you've certainly made up this lesson for that, haven't you? But if you can do what I was saying earlier, and that is make an effort to put it in your own words. Okay. So I'll be looking for that in the next few pages of work that you do. Can you put that into the cupboard? Then you can go to break, yeah. Errol, can you pack your work away, please? Mary.
Steve!
Just stand up and shout that you're leaving the room, that you're going, and you're halfway through the door at the same time. You'll be the last to go. Oh, that happens. No, you cannot go yet.
So you thought you're taking my time?
Yes, I am taking my time. During that first lesson, Sheila, I must have repeated your name at least a dozen times. You took your time responding to that. In fact, you never did.
How can I go?
Turn around. So I'm taking my time. Now you know what it feels like.
Let's leave it for today. I mean,
That's what I said, Debbie.
John, this is
Welcome
the
to
Dean.
NEWLANDS Centre.
Yeah, thank you. The Dean.
You're
Mary.
going to have a great time here.
Do you
My
understand
name
his
is
son?
Sharon.
Sylvia it is, actually. She's the sort that talks a lot and gets
Me?
into trouble at school
No.
because of that. Whereas Mary and Dean have not been going to school, so if you like, they're the two truants in the centre.
It's not true, it's just waggers.
No, you see, I wanted to explain to John what the difference was.
All right, then explain to him. I'll listen.
Well, you tell me what the difference is.
I don't know.
What's the difference between you and Mary?
She's a truanter. I'm a good girl. I go to school.
You're a good girl because you go to school.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And I'm a good girl in school.
Now you are. But why are you here? What was going to happen?
I was going to get suspended. That was only because I wouldn't go to watch.
John, do you understand? people here for very different reasons. You can already tell what Sylvia's here for. Cheek, you know, talking back to people just like she was 18 years old instead of the 14 that she's supposed to be. But Mary and Dean maybe haven't been going to school, so it's a bit different for them. But the things that have been happening in school with you, we can solve together, me and you. Did you ask for help when necessary, Mary?
Yeah. But
You didn't need it? Well, that's even better, but fair enough. Oh, wait a minute, what about this morning? Were you on time? Yeah. Okay.
So this one's a bit pointless.
Which one?
That one.
Very good. You got the answer right.
Is it?
Yeah, this is what we call a repeating decimal. Recurring. So we write it like this with another dot, but above it this time, and you got the answer right. Roger, we made it in. Now put it down.
What did I do?
You talk.
No.
Put it down.
No.
Otherwise, I put it down. Raj.
No, you that was spiteful then, because I didn't say a word.
It was a deal. We made a deal. You didn't keep your side of the
I
bargain.
didn't make no deal. We shake hands. Now, so I didn't talk.
All right,
I didn't talk.
back to the work now.
I didn't talk, no.
You've just stuck one in your mouth right in front of me. Now give me them. I took enough the last lesson. Now get on with your work. And that one. Come on. Flipping it. Geography.
what's geography? Oh.
Stay away from conflict, I did.
Pardon?
Stay away from conflict.
Yeah. That means avoid arguments. You were arguing with me. Can you get your geography sheets out, please?
Whichever school you went to, Rog, your attitude would be the same. It's you, not the school.
How do you know?
Because I know you.
You don't know nothing about me, sir.
I know what your attitude's like here. You've got the same sort of arrogance.
You don't give people the chance to change.
Who doesn't? We don't. That's why you're here. We are giving you the opportunity to change if that's what you think is needed, or to alter your behaviour. We're giving you that opportunity here to show us the true side of your nature outside of the school.
I can't change me, can I? No way.
No.
You think I'd be here?
Only you can change your behaviour and control your behaviour. We can help you to do that here. But only you can do that. And that means taking control of yourself.
Right, Pauline, you can start again, and I want original answers this time.
Would you say that you like reading just a little, a lot, or that you do a lot, you read all the time?
Don't read.
You don't read at all? No. When you do you enjoy it? I mean, what do you read when you read? You say you don't read.
So?
You don't read at all? Okay, can you start when you're ready?
Father gave Pam a big box. She looked in the box for a doll. Then out jumped a white rabbit.
Okay, if you can just stop there and I'll ask you a few questions on what you've just read. Who gave Pam the box?
Father.
Okay. And what did she think would be in the box?
Doll.
What was the surprise when she did open it?
A white rabbit.
Rabbit. Well then?
As I was walking down this lane, I met a man. He asked me this, he asked me that, he asked me where I was going, and that was that. The first sign that anything was wrong was when Patricia went missing. It was at a party on Monday night about 8:25. Patricia said that she was going outside for a walk. She was out there for about 5 minutes, and then she came in with blood all over her. Tony touched her, and she says, and he says, she's turned to stone. Then all of a sudden, green blood started rolling down onto the floor. He looked on the floor, and there was Patricia's tongue crawling about on its own. After I had told him that I was walking to the bottom of the lane, he said to me, don't walk down the lane. Then I said, why? Because it is the haunted lane.
She turned round and slashed his nose off. He ran back screaming. When he got back to the house, he saw something horrible, a face just like his own, but with no nose, no mouth, and no skin on his face.
I started to scream, and all the monsters from downstairs came up. They had the same clothes on, but they all changed into ghastly-looking creatures. I even seen one of the creatures climbing up my friend's skirt.
On the stage with Rose, the She'll but happy switch puppet.
Okay. Why did the Swiss puppet feel useless? Why was he feeling that way?
Because he couldn't do it.
Yes, yeah, partly. It was because really that he wasn't very often chosen because he wore unusual clothes.
Just 4 silly girls are trusted to go up the road to do a job, and they go and trespass on a school and infuriate the headmaster, and I don't blame him.
No one ever told us off there.
Nobody told you to go in the school either, did they? No, he didn't tell you off because he got in touch with me. You've got me in trouble, you've got Newlands in trouble, and you've possibly meant that there won't be any more placements at the nursery. And you might raise your eyebrows, maybe you don't care, but it's unfair on people like John, who's just said that, does that mean I can't go again? Is there anything you can suggest that we can do about it? Nothing at all. Isn't there any way you can think of to make up? Doreen came up with a suggestion. She suggested apologising to the headmaster. What do you think of that?
All right.
All right? Do you think it's all a bit of a waste of time and not worth worrying about?
Don't know.
Do you want to go out to the nursery next week? You don't want to go anymore now? What about other people? How do you think they're going to feel about you? If because of you and the other 3 girls, none of them can go to the nursery anymore. How do you think they're going to feel towards you?
Don't know.
I think it's going to make you popular.
Don't know.
Well, think about it, Mary. And I think you should go and have a talk with Doreen, Agnes, and Pauline and see if you can sort something out. Go on. I want some proper decisions made about what you're going to do.
It was 18, 16 and 14.
48, yes. Good. Let's see you do it now without writing the number on the
Oh, God!
Come on, 48. Just keep the 8 in your head and 8 from 2. Can't do. Got to borrow 1.
12 from 8. It's 4.
Right, you've borrowed 1 from there, so that's a 5.
Well, how much did I
4.
get?
You had a 4 in the 10s. 4 from 5.
4 from 5, 1.
Right. So you've got to hold that second number in your head and do your carrying like that. Come on. Good. Right. 100 ahead. That's right, Norman. Use that.
Bad luck, sir. What's that, sir?
There is another way, if you would give me a minute quiet to talk about it, because I don't want to say it 5 times. We have daily meetings to discuss centre decisions, activities and day-to-day problems. We discuss things like punishments in the meetings, even the question of bringing in the police over an incident like Mary being involved in breaking some of the outside windows. Chrissy was involved in something, but he's saying we should sort it out ourselves and not...
Yeah, you've done it with me. Why can't you do it to everyone first time? Because you brought the police in the second time, though, didn't you? You found the police on Dean, didn't you? Why can't you find the police on her?
Well, in fact... We can't talk like this.
Oh, it's only her first crime, make her get off.
And look how small she is.
Oh, a little girl like that can't do much harm.
If you can see that that is the case, will you let Mary try and sort it out between herself, doing some work on the windows and...
What's that? What's that? She broke them, right? She broke them, what's that? Glazing them and fixing them.
If it was anyone else, I've got a suspicion that you wouldn't be saying what you're saying now. And I personally think that Mary has had a very rough time since she started here, from all of you. And I think now you've been very vindictive towards Mary for that reason. And I'm very disappointed that you're seeing it in that way.
Give it a rock. Trust you. Trust me.
Newlands is about many things. It's about working together, but it's also about living together, eating together and playing together.
She said please, and he said please.
It's about personal relationships as well, between kids and between staff and kids, especially when it comes to learning how to resolve conflict or generally controlling themselves. Hopefully the kids will take these lessons that they've learned here back to school with them, or at least into life with them. And we will have done a little bit, I hope, and help them to grow up. They will grow up naturally, of course, but maybe we can accelerate the process just a little so that they can cope when they go back to the big school, the school of 1,000 or so. Murder ball then for 10 minutes at 1:45.
Half an hour?
Half an hour? You couldn't survive half an hour's murder ball.
We've gone through all this before, haven't we? Don't bring them in again. I can't stop you smoking, but you're not buying friendship. You don't have to give them a cigarette.
Mum, let's just smoke.
Okay.
Should I have smoking? Can I have a biscuit?
Remember.
Chrissy was involved in something, but he's saying we should sort it out ourselves and not
Yeah,
go...
you've done it with me.
Chrissy run away. Well, his mother thought he was coming into school.
Did you find him yet?
No, police were informed.
I wonder if he's never run away. Is he coming back to the centre?
Yes, eventually, I suppose he will. He wasn't very happy the last time he came back. Any reasons why?
He never seemed to be very happy, any. Because I was talking to him like that, and he goes, I've just got fed up at the centre. Just on a bad centre, and it's getting on his nerves and everything.
But he doesn't even go to school.
Well, he just said that he was getting fed up.
There are occasions, 1 or 2 a year, when kids just disappear from us. It's very disturbing and upsetting for us, of course. But I suppose the reason is less to do with Newlands Centre itself and the staff here, and more to do with the kids' life after school. It's very difficult to define success in places like Newlands. For a start, there are units all over the country which don't even try to return kids to school. And second, each of the schools that refers children to us has very different interpretations of what constitutes truancy or disruptive behaviour. In my opinion, by allowing many schools to send to us kids who can't cope or who are screaming out and objecting to what they're faced with in school, we're allowing them to carry on with a system and a curriculum that's often neither relevant nor adequate for the majority of kids faced with the realities of the life they see around them. We could simply define success as these kids being able to make it through the rest of their school life without being suspended or without being a full-time truant. But on the other hand, we've had many kids come back to us who have obviously succeeded in life after the centre and after school. They're able to make friends, able to keep out of trouble with the law, and able to get a good job. I think that that really shows that places like this can succeed, even though public and newspaper opinion is definitely against us.
How do you
is a big one, Sylvia, because even though you might not be making a lot, it tends to fly all over the place.
But the idea now is that we put these up on the board, and hopefully that'll stimulate people to do some of the written work that can go with them.
Use those, that's it. Remember that one? That's it.
For the attention.
No, because you won't get the new piece back on, will you?
You were beating me by half a
Many people here seem to think this is just soft here. You seem to be taking advantage, if you like, of the friendliness.
Of what friendliness, sir?
You don't think there is any friendliness?
I'm asking you what kind of friendliness you're talking about.
The staff here quite deliberately try and be friendly in a way which it isn't possible to be in school. And it just seems people are being silly about it, instead of responding to it in the way which we hope, which would be to grow up.
I don't understand your long words.
What, do you think it's soft here?
No, why not?
Do you think it's an easy option?
No, not really. No.
Norman thinks it is an easy option. Is it easier than school being here?
No, why?
Because it's easy in school.
Alright, so if you're still soft, if you're soft like our school, I'll be probably fling out of this centre and school altogether. You know what I mean now?
I dig. What do you think, Sylvia?
Pardon?
Do you think this is easy?
Oh, no, I don't.
Do you think it's harder to control yourself here? Or easier?
Harder.
Well, where would you rather be, here or school?
School.
You want to be in school?
Yeah.
You should teach our class.
I mean, see, Roger, what you don't understand is I have been in both.
You've gone mad. You have to take the pills.
Can I, Roger, can we be serious for a minute?
I am serious, sir. I'm telling you
well, some people aren't being
what our
serious.
class is like.
But in my...
Our school's different.
Errol, if you've got a comment, make it properly. You see, all you do is laugh, 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 giggle, giggle, giggle. Now, that's how people start off. And by the time they leave the centre and go back to school full-time, they're usually able to control themselves, be cool, and keep their mouths shut when they're in a conflict at school. What do you think it's going to be like when you leave school, then? Is it going to be like it is in school? When you go out onto the streets, into a job or whatever you're doing, into a training course, when you leave, is it going to be like in school?
Some people think it'll be like school because you can get more responsible then, you'll have more...
But how will you, unless you learn to?
You just grow up normally.
You think it'll just happen to you?
Yeah, I do.
You think of things differently when you get older, you know. You have to think about it.
Common sense.
All right, well, what I'm saying is in this centre, what we're trying to do is to give you the opportunity to grow up in the way that you're saying. We hope to allow you the freedom to be able to grow up, able to express yourselves, etc.
Agnes, yeah, Bash, Norman, you're here. Roger, yeah. Sylvia, yeah. Sheila, Lorna, Stephen, you're there. Kieran, where's Kieran? Yeah, at the end there. Yvonne, where's Yvonne? Yvonne. You are, get you slimmer, Yvonne. I can see you there. Errol. So that's 16 in all. 16 of us going today. Should have a really good day. Obviously, you're going to get excited and you're going to have a really good day and enjoy it. But remember that borderline that we talk about in the centre between going too far with things. Know when things are going to go wrong and know when to stop. Did you hear that, Errol?
Yeah.
Good.
To be honest, we can't just trust him to take him. I mean, for instance, if Adrian was going along one of the ropes and someone came a bit too close behind him, he's likely to turn around and stick his foot in them. I just can't trust him to take him.
Mary brought me a note this morning saying and she's not coming in on Friday because it is her birthday. So this time, Mary, the answer is yes, OK, it's your birthday, and I'll take it as a request for you to have a day off.
I mean, I really do think that's unfair.
Yes. What about my birthday?
I mean, it's not going to help Mary get back to school if we say she can have days off for her birthday. She goes back, requests a day off for her birthday.
In fact, Mary, you also missed a day this week, so I guess I could take that back.
I mean, you will have a nice day for your birthday because most people will be at Woodlands.
Well done, Spider-Man.
A couple of point sheets here. Bash, perfect again for the whole afternoon. So he deserves to go and he's paid his money. But I do see that many people on the point system have got a lot of points. And from the financial point of view, I was going to say that...
More than enough.
All I was going to say is if money is difficult for Friday, if money is difficult for Friday, since you won't... Can we have it quiet, please? If money is difficult, then as usual, there's no reason why some people couldn't approach their tutors and say, can I use some of my points? And I think it would be up to the tutor to decide whether the case was right for them to use the points or not.
Make your legs do the work. Make your legs do it. You're not joining in, Graham.
Most parents haven't experienced a place like this before, right? So they'll think that it's a bad place. Because once it's suspended from school, they're bound to think it's a bad place, isn't it?
That's very sensible, actually. But you can show them that's wrong by responding properly on things like Woodlands, which went tremendously well.
But that can't do nothing if you go on a trip.
But that was just being grown up, wasn't it?
No, but that ain't going to do nothing. So what do you think their mum would think about them going on a trip to Woodlands?
I think any mum who saw their son or daughter last Friday would have been proud of them.
So what's special about going on a trip or nothing? So if you go on a trip, right, they're going to think that Newlands Centre is a good place.
I didn't say anything, no. I said their parents could have been proud of them in the way that they behaved and were polite to one another.
Well, they should expect them to behave themselves in the first place anyway.
Well, I agree they would expect it, but it hasn't been happening, has it?
Put your leg over the rope. That's it.
So there was not going to registration. Anything else? I mean, nobody...
matches around the classroom.
Again, that's a very small, silly thing to do, isn't it?
And stick to the girl's head.
Oh, that's not quite so small, is it? Throwing matches around. Were they lighted matches? Setting fire to a girl's hair. Was that meant to be a joke, or didn't you like the girl, or...?
No, it just landed in my head.
Accidentally?
Yeah.
All right, what else?
Cheeking the teachers.
Cheeking the teachers. Was this all teachers?
Yeah.
All teachers?
Most of them.
Were there any teachers that you didn't cheek?
Only the ones what I didn't know.
Sylvia, we've got a little problem with school, haven't we? We've got to phone school and find out whether you'll be there on Wednesday or not. Because you must admit you lost your temper a bit, didn't you? Just to warn it to everybody, it blew up in her face. She fiddled a teacher's signature on a point sheet. It's funny, yeah. Except that the teacher got into trouble.
What did he?
Well, the teacher whose signature she fiddled got taken to task by the head teacher of the school. So, in fact, that is why the school is so angry. It's not just the way you behaved, it's the fact that it's got other people into trouble. And that's what you've got to learn to do here, isn't it? Learn that your actions influence everybody else's.
You mean no. And no again. Because you know what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to suspend her. Bye, guy. Bye-bye.
Is that Mr. Dan?
No, not to go back. Finished.
So if she doesn't come in here tomorrow either, we'll have to sort it out between now and then, won't we, about where she goes.
Now, look, shall we try and find you another school?
It's up to you.
You've got to have another school, so...
Well, you see, we could force you back. We could say to the school that, you know, they must take you back. But you know what might happen? You might end up with a suspension because of what happened before.
So the alternatives we've got, and we're only talking about them now, and you and we can talk about them in the next week, and we'll staff talk about it, and we'll speak with the head as well.
He's coming in on Monday.
We've got plenty of time to talk, but the alternatives are either to force you back to that school and run the risk of you being suspended and then being sent to a suspended pupils centre, or to look for another school that might give you a chance in the same way that Linda, for example, is having a chance at another school. And really, well, you've got to express your opinion about what you want us to do, because...
Have you thought about it? You've obviously have, because before the holiday, I told you the writing was on the wall, didn't I?
The writing?
Well, you knew what was coming.
You knew what was coming when we were on the trip.
I could call in tomorrow morning, otherwise you're just going to tell him and he's going to be very upset. Alright. And then maybe you can think about the other schools, you can ask people.
I'm not coming tomorrow.
No, well, I'll see you tomorrow then. Whether or not you're coming with me is another question.
So why is she coming tomorrow?
Well, she should be in school, but you know the rule here is that if people have misbehaved in school so that they're not allowed back in school, they don't just rebound to here. Because you know what would happen, Pauline, as well as I do. What would happen? People would mess about in school in order to come here, wouldn't they?
Yes, Pauline.
Because they see that as an easier option. Instead, you have to stay at home with the work that will be set today, or at least taken home by you today, or brought by me tomorrow. They're closing schools down. So they're very, very precious, these places, and you've messed one up. Anyway, we'll talk about it tomorrow, okay?
Yeah.
How about this? Take it off unasked. How about that? And get a point. If you've got it off without being asked to get it off, you get a point.
Sir.
Eh?
Sir, can I get this to for me? Sir, because she knows what it is.
You should know what it is. The whole point about this is that you should be able to do it yourself.
Work hard.
All right. I mean, it's very easy for teachers just to tell you what to do and punish you if you don't do it. Linda's, you're only doing 1 day a week at the moment, so the next thing is to aim for a couple of days. You tell me when you want to do it by.
I'll do it 2,000 by the end.
By the end of what? The year? The decade?
By the end of the term.
Term? But your father would want that faster, wouldn't he? Because he'd want you back in quicker. Don't you feel that? Don't you want to? You'd rather stay here a bit longer?
Yeah. What happens if you say something to me, that teacher?
But if he, I mean, what do you think he's likely to say to you? I mean, you seem to think that he's going to say something. What do you think he's likely to say to you?
He tries to get me mad by pulling your hair and that.
By pulling your hair?
He does it to everyone in our class. Class the boys. Sir, does it? Sir.
But if you go into school on Monday morning and you do as the teacher asks, then that's not going to happen, is it?
Sir, look.
It's only when you don't do as you're asked to do, when you don't get on with your work or when you're distracting people, that sort of thing's likely to happen, isn't it? And hopefully one of the things that you've learnt while you've been here is how to avoid those sort of situations.
Well, I agree Monday's a bad day, but is that a reason for having everybody in here on a Monday and not in school? Yeah. But how come most people have chosen Mondays?
I didn't choose Monday.
No, did I?
All right,
I don't want to change it.
I mean, if Roy goes in on Monday morning on his first day back to school and is going in with the idea that this is boring before he even meets anybody when he gets there, surely he's got to go and make an effort on Monday, hasn't he?
Whole square. Again, once you've finished the first line, you go on to the second line. Right, what's the next one going to be down here then? Can you put your hand up, please? Now do 6. Let me see. Lonsdale, what's the next one going to be?
So there's a time to talk and there's a time to be quiet. Now, surely for Roy on Monday morning, it's a time just to keep your mouth shut and talk at break time, see your mates at break time and all the rest of it.
Jennifer?
Linda expressed a bit of anxiety about going into the new school again because she's only done a couple of the Thursdays before the holiday.
I think that we've got to be quite gentle with Linda in a way, because she is thinking that she doesn't want to go back to mainstream school, and
she has in fact said that.
And I think if we sort of force the issue too quickly, I mean, I agree. I mean, she should, you know, she should be back in mainstream school.
You'd go out in rough first, and then let me have a look at it. Okay. Okay.
It's just a point about error on these charts. He's done well in school last week, but we was missing yesterday.
We did say last week, in fact, that we would think about increasing his time in school, but he was doing so well in school that every report from school that he's brought back has been really good.
That's right. He should be doing what? Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday from next week?
Morning, Newlands.
I think many people, including myself, see this as a cop-out for the state system. If I had my own way, these places wouldn't need to exist, because the state system, which after all caters for the vast majority of children, would develop a curriculum which was adequate, relevant, but probably because of economic and political restraints, etc., this is never to be the case. Well, not in the near future, and these places will continue to be necessary.
How did you go in school yesterday, John?
So it was all right. I got kicked out of the last lesson.
You got kicked out of the last lesson? What for?
And she was just moaning, so I just walked out.
Why was she
moaning?
Oh,
so you didn't get kicked out, you chose to walk out. It doesn't matter how you behave here, really. The important thing is the way you behave at school. You know, and Norman knows that. You know, I mean, he can have a rough time here, but as long as he has a good time in school, he'll get the things that he wants. Won't you, Norman?
What went wrong in the last lesson, then?
I don't know.
Being a model pupil?
Nah.
No. What were you doing then?
I don't know.
Of course you know what you were doing. You just don't want to tell us.
I don't know, sir.
Well, if you don't know why the teacher sent you out, how are we going to help you here? Because if you can't see yourself where things are going wrong, how can we help to put them right?
I don't know.
What were you doing? Just talking? Were you talking to people next to you?
I don't know, sir. I just was talking, and then she carried on, and then I walked out.
But Agent P, why are you always on the defensive? Don't you think anybody's ever going to say anything nice about you?
No.
Sylvia, stop interrupting. You've got to learn to stop this arrogance coming across.
What am I doing in school, though? Why does that Mr. Davis change my school, man? When you talk to him, right, about school sometimes, he says it's not the right, he doesn't feel it's the right time for me to go into school. Now, by the time I'm in the 5th year, still be saying it's not the right time for me to go into school, and I've left school.
It took me 20 minutes, miss.
It's gone, man, and everybody else is going into school. No, I can't go into school, man.
Well, all I'm saying is, all I'm trying to do is help you, and on Friday, I'll tell you something, if Christopher can make an effort to do it, you can. And he has. And take that hat off, Christopher, at once.
Did you come back to me when I called you?
Yes, sir.
No. Well, I don't think you deserve to go up and do a silhouette.
I'm going to get it. It's already been done.
Oh, well, you'll have to wait till it comes to you now.
I won't,
Yes, you,
sir.
no, you
Sir,
will.
they're busy, man.
You will.
Sir.
You will. You'll do it the way I say. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, when you go back in there, I'll come and see you, and then I'll invite you out to go and get it. Right. Would you like to go and do that properly? Right, Errol? Now, would you do it properly this time? Yes, of course you can. I'm just asking you to do it properly.
It depends. Who's first gear first? So if you attempt to do those 3 things again this week, and try and make sure that you get them signed, then you'll be able to do the things that you like doing. On the next page, then, please.
again now?
Please, yeah. You say your dad bought you your jeans?
My dad bought me a pair of jeans. That was £9. But he gave me
So
£10.
did you spend the weekend at home?
Well, I'm doing all right now.
So you get on with your dad okay now?
Yeah.
Because that was the main problem before. But is that because, I mean, this weekend in particular, I mean, that's the second weekend, isn't it, you've
just
been
because
home?
he's bought me some jeans.
It's not because of that?
No. It's just I want to go home now.
That's nice. Nice to hear.
I want to see what the steering's like. Take it round now. Come on, John, push him. Come on, John. Come on.
Now, you're going to do the drying up, aren't you? So I can mark that before you've even done it. So you've worked hard. I suppose you made the cream, didn't you, for everybody, and the jam. Well, we'll decide on the bonus at the very end of the lesson, because we've got just over half an hour yet.
You didn't say anything to her, did you?
Of course we did. I phoned her mother yesterday. I was on the phone about half an hour to her mother, explaining exactly what action would be taken if she went missing again.
Yeah.
This has been going on with you since last term. And you're very, very lucky to be here. No, I did not say you were the cause of it.
Yes, you did.
I'm talking about you personally and how it affects you. Because when it boils down to it, it's you yourself that has got to take control of your actions.
You only want me to get away from my parents. That's what you're on about.
What are you talking about?
Yes.
Look, Maria, 2 weeks ago, you didn't want to know your parents.
Well, I do now.
But you do now, because at the weekend your dad spent £10 on you.
No, it's not because of that.
Why do you want to know them now then, and yet 2 weeks ago you didn't want to know them? What's happened that's made all the difference?
Like you bringing everybody into the meeting. What about me? Leaving me and talking against me?
Have the grace to say you're sorry to Mr. Garside. He's put endless work in on you, Marie.
Just please, please, don't mouth it, and you'll come back tomorrow. I hope. Be what I've just told you. Be a little humble. Accept the fact that you do cause problems. Regardless of anybody else, you walked out of this centre yesterday afternoon for a whole afternoon.
If somebody's suspended from Newlands, it's usually not because of what they personally have done. The reason in Maria's case was to try and get the authorities to take prompt action, to look after Maria properly, because we just don't have the 24-hour capability that's required to give her the kind of educational and home life that she clearly needs. It became obvious to us that Newlands wasn't the right place for Maria, although she couldn't see that, and we all felt her leaving very deeply. So you've got 4, if you like, who are on the waiting list. If that is an appropriate referral, and they're all 4, as I think I've got it, appropriate referrals.
Well, surely that if you put out the proper information, that heads can say, well, if Newlands can't take them because of pressure of numbers, what are you doing about it?
Well, exactly. I'm going to use this. You know me. I will use the number of referrals here as an argument to try and get some more resources our way, because there's no way we can deal with any more than what we're doing now. No way. But what do we say to these 4 people now? Rachel's ringing 1 and I ring 3, and we say, you're on the waiting list. As soon as we can say that we've got the right atmosphere here to take in your kid and do something for you, we will do so.
I mean, if we did take them on at the moment, I don't think we'd be doing them any favours. I mean, seeing Carol reacting to the way Agnes was behaving today, that was a dreadful start for her. And I mean, if kids are going to be coming into that sort of atmosphere, we're not going to do them any good whatsoever. We'll probably, you know, consolidate their previous bad behaviour. You know, it's. I mean, I think some people must think we've got the answer to everything, really.
Thank you.